Welcome to a Healthy Living video blog, episode number 90. You're watching us at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And this is Aram.
Today we have another exciting episode. We're going to follow up our basic tips on how to design your exercise program with, I think, a very important subject of, we call it a Primal Pattern movements. And it's a trademark by Chek Institute. Let's tear this one apart. Let's talk about what the Primal Pattern movements are.
Yes, I agree, they're very important. The primal patterns are the movements, they're basic movements that a human being can do to perform in any given sport. As you will recognize them, as we mentioned them now, you'll realize that once you put any of these patterns together, you can replicate or imitate what any sport has as a foundation of movement.
Absolutely. Most of the time when people work out, they work out based on the bodybuilder philosophy of training muscles rather than training movements. And when you train muscles, you go by training, let's say, bicep and tricep, your back, your calves, your thighs, and things like that. And we understand a whole lot more about fitness, and when I understand the functional movements are a whole lot more important. So we always say that you gotta train more of the movements than the muscles.
Absolutely. The body actually functions upon movement, not individual activation of muscles themselves, like you well said, like in regards to bodybuilding workouts. So let's state which ones they are, those primal patterns.
Correct?
Squatting, lunging, pushing and pulling, twist and bend, and then gait. And gait has three phases: walking, trotting, and sprinting.
Absolutely. So when we go about designing exercise programs, we want to make sure that we have those movement patterns in the exercise program. Right. So you can have either all of them or some of them. The examples will be, let's say you can do a squat day, you can do just a lunge day, or you can do a push and pull day, squat and push, and things like that. So you want to create whatever combination is. Now, is there any specific rules? I don't think so. There's specific rules of what you want to use, but everything else is like an artistic expression. Nobody can truly say this is wrong or this is right. As long as you're using a basic, proper technique and form, then after that it's all basically artistic expression.
Very good and very true. So long you can justify what you're doing, having a purpose and a function is good. Nobody can tell you, well, this is wrong or right. They might have more or less of an insight or what you are trying to attain, and they can give you guidelines, of course, and kind of perhaps, shift you to do different things or have a much more complex, table of prioritization. But the patterns, they're always the same. They're never going to change. And there are 7. The one thing that I want to mention to you as well as to them, Aram, is that when you train muscle parts or body parts like chest and back, and you don't put the kind of shift into using movements, is that you start retarding the body. The body literally becomes more slower, not as efficient at moving, which is what we do in a daily basis.
That's why when you see a bodybuilder, a lot of times that train like a bodybuilder, walking through the bodybuilding show content, you'll see like it's almost robotic kind of movements.
Yes, and I know plenty of them, and some of them happen to be really good athletes, but a lot of them, they couldn't, they wouldn't be able to throw a brick up against the wall.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
their body their nervous system basically is what happens, has become slower.
It's shot.
Slower,
Like it knows how to use one muscle, but it doesn't know how to use two muscles together.
Several patterns at the same time.
Exactly.
So for you guys out there, or ladies, of course, that play sports, look at the function of your sport, how the sport is actually played, and look which of those primal patterns are utilized. If you see more than 2 or 3, there are the main ones. Those are the ones that you want to focus on when you do your workouts. Can we use an example?
Sure.
Let's, for example, as we learned this, when we took our courses, for example, a baseball pitch. You can see that a baseball pitch, when the guy, when the pitcher is standing on the mound, he's going to balance on one leg, which it could be equated actually to maybe the beginning phase of doing a one-legged squat. Then he's going to lunge laterally, which is actually a side lunge. Then he's going to twist his body really fast, and the arm will come into a push. Actually works more like a whip. So you can see right there that you have almost like a squat. You definitely have a full lunge with a twist, and then you have a push, with the arm. So you can understand that those four patterns are really, really important for a baseball pitcher.
Yeah, and besides just playing sports, some people don't play any sports. So if you do some sort of daily activity, regardless of what they like to do, some people are, let's say, construction workers, you use certain patterns. Somebody needs to go up the stairs. That's a certain movement pattern. Most of the people need to sit down in a car. That is a complicated movement pattern. You have to do pretty much a one-legged squat with a rotation. So it's important to recognize those patterns and start training your muscles to get better in this particular pattern. What we're going to do with Ruben, we're going to go ahead and probably going to go in the park and record another episode where we can actually show you, demonstrate you all of those primal pattern movements within the workout. So stay tuned for our next episodes because you're going to see quite a few primal patterns in the workouts.
Absolutely.
That we're going to do.
And don't forget that these primal patterns could be ascended or descended. You can make the exercise really, really simple if your physical, ability right now is not there yet. And you can, many of you out there can actually do it a lot harder than what we might demonstrate for you guys.
Exactly.
So, that's part of periodization. From the starting point where you can do a certain exercise to the maximal expression of potential of movement that you may have.
Absolutely. And what Ruben meant by ascending and descending, let's say you can do a moving lunges or you can do just a standing lunge.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what your body can take.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that pretty much sums it up.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, your future looks better already. And we're going to see you next time.
And don't forget that we have a video coming out where we're going to demonstrate how these patterns are created.
Absolutely. It will be released next day.
Take care.